My name is Jim Walker, and I'm a professor of geology at Northern Illinois University. So the study of volcanoes is called volcanology. So I teach a number of classes. Well, I grew up collecting rocks and minerals. You can see around my office. I still do. And got interested in chemistry and sciences in general when I was in high school. And really thought I was going to study earthquakes at first. By chance, ended up working with a person who studied volcanoes and became one. Actually, Yellowstone is a volcano or volcanic area, and it's erupted. It's had 3 major, large super eruptions, and it could in the future have one. The understanding of volcanoes probably goes back to the early 1900s, and people understood that volcanoes are a place where magma reaches the Earth's surface, magma being melted rock. People realized that by study of the rocks in that area, they knew they came from a volcano and were formed from magma. And they also had these neat geysers to look at Yellowstone. And they wondered about what was driving water to be sprayed out every so often. And that's happening because there's magma below the surface, or at least hot rock below the surface, which heats the water up and comes out. So I think there were a number of things people put together. The understanding that it was a super eruption probably happened maybe in the 1960s, when people studying the deposits created during those eruptions. One interesting thing about Yellowstone, most volcanoes occurred in very specific places. If you've heard in your studies about plates, or the outer part of the Earth being broken into pieces called plates, and they move around these different plates. And most volcanoes are located at the edges of the plates, or the boundaries between the plates. And Yellowstone's not at a boundary, it's within the middle of a plate. And so that's a sort of unusual setting. The Hawaiian volcanoes are also in that sort of setting. So it's a very interesting volcano for that reason. Yellowstone is what we call a caldera, and this is essentially just a big hole in the ground. Although in Yellowstone's case, as you said, the land has come up a bit, so it's not an obvious hole in the ground, but there are lots of examples of them. And another one, by the way, for anybody who lives in New Mexico, there's one just north of Santa Fe called Valles Caldera, not quite as big as Yellowstone. These big, we call them caldera systems or calderas. They often magma moves around, and when magma moves around, the ground can go up, gases can come out at the surface, and things like that. These systems are sort of tricky because we've been studying them for a long time now, or 30, 40 years, but they have periodic times when magma moves around. Nothing erupts at the surface, or hot gases move around or something, and that may cause the land to rise, or more gases to come out for a 5-year period or something like that. But to allay any fears, I think Yellowstone, if it was going to have a big eruption, it would give us plenty of warning before it did that.